Okay, share my screen. All right, everyone. Just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome back for those who have been on the webinar before. This is NewLookNow's monthly Ultherapy Visualizer webinar. We typically cover how to use the tool, the different ways that you can utilize it, and then we also have featured content for each of our webinars. So for this month, we are featuring Paula Lawrence from Mirable Medical Spa. So the theme for this webinar is marketing before your event. So she is on the call and will be available at the end for questions. So if any of you have questions about the data that's going to be presented or best practices, she will be available. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashton Levitt. I spent the last decade in aesthetics. I started my career off as a medical esthetician. I moved into a management position and I was also a patient coordinator for one of the largest practices in Orange County, California. And just a little bit about NewLookNow. Our visualizer allows consumers to try on treatments on their own bodies with a photograph. Our call to action tool has increased consumer marketing efforts by 100 to 400%, and the Ultherapy Visualizer has increased event conversions to 80 to 90%. So we'll be going over how the tool works. I'll actually do a live demo of how to upload a photo in Office. We'll talk about emails, the website widget, and then we'll go into the actual Mirable conversion data, all the different marketing channels that Paula used prior to the event, the promotions that she leveraged inside of the emails and various other channels. And then we'll talk about leveraging the visualizer, and then, of course, we'll have the Q&A at the very end. Okay, so the Ultherapy simulation tool is free for practices to use. There are 4 main ways to use the Ultherapy Visualizer: in Office, on your website via the widget, in outbound emails, appointment reminders, and the welcome email that we send to all of you when you get signed up. There is the code to your widget. There are 6 templates for the emails that are provided as well. And we also provide you with your consumer link, which we'll touch on later in the webinar. But so yeah, if you haven't received, or I'm sure if you have an account, you received the welcome email, but if you need your widget code or consumer link again, please reach out to your account manager and we'll get that sent over to you as soon as possible. Okay, and then the last way to use NewLookNow or the Ultherapy Visualizer is during events. All right, so let me back out of here and we're going to go through a quick little demo of how to upload a photo in Office. And this is also the same workflow that you'll use during an event. So after you've clicked on Create Order, either from the desktop, which I'm doing here, if you're using an iPad, which we do recommend, or any kind of tablet for that matter, you'll actually see a square button or drop-down box in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on that, these menu items become available. You'll click on Create Order, select Ultherapy, and then it'll bring you to this workflow here. So first, step 1, select the areas for Ultherapy. So you can either do upper face, lower face and neck, or décolleté. If you click on any of the options in décolleté, or I should say if you select décolleté, it's going to prompt you to upload 2 different photos. Any option 1 through 5, it'll just be the 1 photo. So either way, you're going to select the areas for Ultherapy. Okay, after that, you'll then need to select the level of intensity. You have level 1, 2, and 3. Level 2 is the standard set by Ultherapy. If you have a patient who is, younger, has really great, skin elasticity, you can go ahead and select intensity 3. If you're a patient who's, say, a little bit older, maybe not as much collagen or elasticity, then maybe you would only want to show them option 1. But in either case, option 2 is the standard set by Ultherapy. Okay, and then step 3, and you're going to take your photo. If you're doing this on your iPad, which again we do recommend, or any tablet for that matter, when you hit upload, it'll then give you your camera and photo library options. You're going to select your camera, take the photo, select the photo, and then it'll pop up right here. If you've already taken the photo, which is also a great idea, if you're doing a live event, you may want to take the photo of your guest or patient before conducting this workflow. That way, if for any reason there's a glitch in your Wi-Fi or a glitch in the software, you'll be able to just select the photo that you've already taken, and you don't have to run around and try and find your guest and re-upload the photo. Okay, once the image pops up here, you'll know that the photo has uploaded correctly. You then will move on to step 4, enter in your patient's or your guest information. So first, last name. It's important to put their email address and not your own. You can, if it's during an event, you'll need to select send email to patient upon completion and also tag this order as an event. You should have already registered the event with NewLookNow, but this way, if you tag the actual order itself as an event, we can go back and actually provide you with some really neat reporting. And then we do recommend that you share the simulations with patients or your guests during the event, because they will be able to see the simulation during the event, and they'll be able to share it with other guests. And that whole experience really does help to increase the conversion rate of the event. Okay, let's go back to the webinar. Okay, so now we've seen the demo. Okay, so personalized email content. So it's really important to incorporate the visualizer in an email. It's improved click-through rates by 14% and conversions by 10%. So having a strong call to action inside of the email itself will help motivate your patients into actually coming in for their appointment, because it will act as a carrot. You know, the simulation itself will act more or less like a visual carrot. You know, if you're withholding or not withholding, it is definitely going to help, you know, that click-through and conversion rate. And here's just a couple of examples. This one is actually in an event RSVP. This is just, you know, announcing to your, you know, your database that you now offer Ultherapy, and it's now, you know, asking them to try it on. Okay, the website widget. This is also something that is included in your welcome email. You are provided with a widget code and just a bit of instructions. So implementing a strong and educational CTA or call to action like the Ultherapy Visualizer on your website is very different from just some form fill, you know, like a lead form or whatever that's already existing on your website. The Ultherapy Visualizer motivates and excites consumers into taking action towards conversion. So having a strong call to action like the Ultherapy Visualizer is going to increase the, you know, the intent and the likelihood that this you know, the consumer that's visiting your web page, it's going to increase their intent to actually want to book that appointment. Okay, so here is our featured content. Mirable, and I'm probably, Paula, you can, I'm probably saying this wrong, I'm so sorry. But this is, they had a recent event, and Paula was, you know, really awesome and shared the conversion from the event. So we'll talk about what Paula did prior to the event, but after the event was actually over. So the total cost here for that event was $600. There was 24 people in attendance, and of those 24, 12 received simulations, and of those 12, 4 booked full facial treatments. And I do want to point out that this event actually started off as a brow event, and they were able to upsell the guests into full facial treatments. So total revenue generated $14,960. And so of that revenue, $8,960 of that was from using the visualizer tool. So you can see the effect that the visualizer has on the overall event. Okay, so here are the marketing channels that Paula leveraged. So she marketed 3 weeks in advance using email, text, point of purchase flyers. She posted on their website, in social media, and also in Real Self profile offer. So of those, we asked her like what her top 3 would be, or if you had limited resources. She definitely said that email, text, and social media is the most powerful. And if you only have limited resources, those would be the best to definitely utilize. We also asked if she offered any type of promotions in the marketing channels that she utilized. So they did a 1-day only promotion, so Ultherapy Brow Lift for $250. The rep, this would be the MERS rep, used the visualizer to upsell during the consultation. So this goes back to what I was touching on before, is this was a brow event, but even just having the brow event, they were able to upsell those people into a full facial treatment. So 4 out of 12 upgraded to full facial treatments, which brought about a 33% conversion rate. So it's important for large events, using multiple specials and giveaways are definitely recommended. Okay, now leveraging the visualizer tool. in this particular event, Paula didn't leverage the visualizer in the sense that, in the emails and social media posts, she didn't incorporate the link or the consumer link, which is fine. Like it's not, I mean, it was still a very, very successful event, but I do want to call out that in your welcome email, you're given your widget code and you're given this consumer link. And this is a link to your consumer landing page, which is where the widget also directs your consumers. So you do have the option of incorporating this in RSVPs for the event, which will help actually increase your RSVPs. And as we all know, if you have an event, you get, let's say, 20 people to RSVP, maybe only 5 or 10 of those people will actually show up. So we want to increase the number of people who actually walk through the door, and we found that incorporating the visualizer in any type of RSVP does help increase the number of people who actually walk through the door, okay? And you can also incorporate it in social media posts like this one. It doesn't necessarily have to be around the event. It can just be in general. But again, I just wanted to call out that you can incorporate the visualizer in an email or social media post. Okay, thank you so much for coming. This is my contact information and Vicki Hawk, who I'm sure most of you know. We are the account managers for the Ultherapy Visualizer. So if you have any questions, I am going to open up the floor to for Q&A. But if you have any questions about your widget code, consumer links, how to use it, email, so on and so forth, please reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to assist you as soon as possible. So let me go ahead and unmute all of you. Give me 1 second. I want to hear from all of you. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free. Paula Lawrence is on the call as well, so if you have any questions around what she did prior to their event and why their event was so successful, please feel free to step on it. Paula, call still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for making yourself available today. I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
So just based on the data and everything that you gave us, your event was crazy successful with with what appears to be minimal, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like minimal effort, but really strategic targeting of your marketing efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the idea was to get folks in to give them a little sampling of the treatment and at a lower price point, and with the idea of obviously upgrading those folks to a larger treatment, which we were really pleased with the number that we were able to upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've actually just recently learned about these brow events maybe a couple months ago, and it sounds like a really, really great way, like you said, to get people in at a lower price point, but once they're there, you convert them by using the visualizer into a larger treatment. So I think it's a really great way to convert more people.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for myself or Paula? I'll take that as a no. Well, Paula, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. If anybody is still on the call and thinks of a question later on, please feel free to reach out to me directly. And if it's a question for Paula, I'll make sure to loop her in as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Have a great day, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Ashton.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.